Hello everybody. Jay this side, back again in another video. And this time we'll be looking into some little bit complex formulas, Sumifs, Averageifs, and COUNTIFS formula. Now, I'm going to start my screen share, and I have the spreadsheet ready over here. As you can see, we have some of the data right over here in these columns. The objective is to, we have the sales rep over here. We got the region or the location, and then we got the sales. The objective is to put in the sum values of each of these agents, to put in the average. Maybe we can choose count, average of units, count of units or sales, and of course the sum. So in this example, we can choose the units column for the sales reps for each of these locations. I know this is absolutely easy if you're using the pivot tables. Let me show you how we can use the pivot table. I can just select in the data set, hit on enter. I'm going to choose the existing workbook location. I'll go over here and choose the existing location. Oh, oops. Existing location. Let's use this one. I can hit OK. A pivot table would be created, and I can just choose the sales rep in my rows because I want to see it this way. I could also choose it in my columns and the locations over here. It doesn't matter. But yeah, we got the location over here. I could choose it vice versa. Oops, there's some data over here. So I think the vice decision is to choose the location over here, and I could put in the units, or I could also use the sales values. So these are the sales values. These are the sum. I could go over here in the field settings. I could choose counts. That is going to give me the counts, or average. That'll give me the average. For this example, let's use the sales column, which we are using over here. Now, these are the counts. We could use COUNTIFS function. Let's change it back to the sum and see how do we use the Sumifs function to do the same calculations, but instead we'll be using a formula. Now, in order to use the formula, we need to use equal to. It begins with equal to. I'm going to type in sum. You would see there are two functions, Sumif and Sumifs. For this tutorial, I'm going to use Sumifs. I'm going to select Sumifs and choose the tab button to open up the formula. As you can see, it's going to highlight the criteria. These are the things that we need. We have the sum range. So since we are using the sales column, so I'm going to just highlight the sum sales column in this case. Soon as I choose the comma function, this criteria range 1 is going to get highlighted. As you can see, the criteria range, and we can choose criteria range 1, criteria range 2, and so on. We could have multiple, maybe 3 criteria columns, 4, 5, and so on and so on. In this case, we have 2 criteria only, one for the sales rep, another one for the location or the region. So criteria range, let's choose this one as criteria range 1, just to make it more easy. So sales rep is in this column. I'm going to choose the sales rep column, and I'm going to give a reference for this rep. Now, there's something that we need to do, which is known as absolute reference. So now let's just choose this agent over here, and I'm going to move to my criteria range 2, which is this one. Sorry, region. And I'm going to choose the region over here, and I can hit enter. This will give me the exact amount that I have over here. I could drag this function, but it won't work. The reason why it doesn't work is I need to freeze the cell references. Now, as you can see, there is a difference. As soon as I move down, J3 moves to J4, which is fine, which is absolutely okay. But as you can see, the K2 also moves to K3. I need to freeze this to K2. So I'm going to apply a $sign, or I could choose the F4 function 4 button to toggle between $K, $2. So since I'm only freezing the row 2, so I will not freeze the column, I'll only freeze this particular row, which is 2. Soon as I hit the enter button, I could drag it down using Control D command, and this is going to automatically fill it up. Drag the function. Control D is the shortcut for that. And as you can see, these numbers are lining up over here. But when I will Control R is the shortcut for expanding or copying or dragging the formula. I could also choose it from here. I could drag the formula, but Control R is the shortcut key. Now, as you can see, when I go here, it doesn't take the formula. So as you can see, all these formulas are changing. Now I need to freeze up. I will freeze my columns, my selections. I'll use function 4 to freeze it up. Now, the important thing is I also need to freeze this cell. So I'm going to hit a $, in front of J3. I could also toggle the function 4 button in front of only J. Now, when I do this, I am done. As you can see, so this is the formula that we need to build in that can be dynamically moved across the selection, across all the, I could keep on using it if I have multiple values, multiple columns, or there could be more than thousands of columns. Now, I will also guide you how we can choose the unique function to get the unique values of all the regions in my selection. It's going to spill, so I'm going to use the transpose function. And that's going to give me all my location. I can sort this out using the sort. This is my array. Column index, of course, there's only one, and ascending is what I'm going to choose. It's already in, the sort won't work because there is a different criteria. That's a topic for a different session maybe. But yeah, we got all of these. And similarly, I can also use the unique function in order to get all the unique agents in this selection. And this formula is, it spills out it will fill out. We can't delete it because it's a dynamic function. Perfect. As you can see, we can't delete these values. These are spilled. So these are dynamic formulas. Now we got all the values over here. This is how we use the Sumifs, just to make it consistent that we are using from the pivots. I'm going to put it back again. to the same as we have in the pivot. Now, I could just change this to some Averageifs. Averageifs would work absolutely the same way. Averageifs. These are the values. I am going to move it down, move down the decimals. So now over here, I'm going to change this field settings, change it to average. And as you can see, all these values are lining up with the values that I have over here. So the Averageifs, and Sumifs, they work exactly the same way, except for the COUNTIFS. So for COUNTIFS, we don't have the sum function or the average column that we are selecting. So how the COUNTIFS works is I'm going to delete everything right from here. Let's just delete it. Over here, I'm going to go back and choose the count. Now, I am going to type the COUNTIFS. And as you can see, this only has criteria range and the criteria. So criteria is, I can choose any of these, but I'm going to select the same field. I'm going to freeze it by choosing the F4 function. This is my criteria range 1, because it doesn't have the other thing. I mean, we don't have to select any sum or average of any of the columns, so it restricts. So criteria range 1 is going to be the sales rep column. I'm going to freeze it. And criteria is going to be this. I'm going to again freeze it to J only. Criteria range, of course, is going to be the region column or the location column. I'm going to freeze it back again. And I'm going to select my location or the region. In this case, I'm going to freeze 2 for the row only. And I can hit on enter. I can drag this formula, Control D again, Control R, and this is going to give me absolutely the same numbers as I would get in the pivot table. Sometimes we can always use pivot tables to save our time, but in complex situations, pivot table doesn't work. In those scenarios, in those situations, we have to build out custom formulas to get these values. I know there could be different use cases, wherein we can't use pivot tables and we have to use these formulas. If you are stuck in some complex formulas, you can hire me and I will be glad to help you out for complex Excel formulas or any other use cases, custom builds. Looking forward to meet you in another session. Thank you very much once again. Bye now. Have a great day ahead.